Just over 8% of Brazilians are aged over 65, many of them enjoying a long and comfortable retirement. But lower birth rates and higher life expectancy are predicted to push that figure up to a quarter of the population by 2050. The government says urgent measures are required. Brazilians, both young and old, are concerned.
I'm really worried because I only needed to wait a few years before I could retire. I've just found out they're changing the system. Now I'm going to be much older when I retire.
It's a question mark hanging over us. We don't know what will happen. I can't imagine waiting until I'm 90 years old to retire. We need to plan for the future.
The government, trying to break out of the country's worst recession in memory, says economic recovery and financial stability depend on pension reform being passed into law, that it can't keep spending the equivalent of 12% of its GDP on pensions.
This change to the law, this pension reform, is the only way to guarantee today's youth in Brazil benefits in the future. It will guarantee their access to education and health, which is why we need to spend less money on social security now.
Opposition parties, the trade unions and many workers are protesting, saying they were not consulted about the changes. Many workers have been paying into schemes they thought would allow them to retire early, in their 50s. The result of broken promises, dreams impossible to fulfill. But the reality is that with Brazil's economy struggling, they're saying there simply isn't enough money to pay for early retirement, causing great anger, frustration and resentment. The proposals are for both men and women to retire at 65, while all will have to work longer to claim the maximum allowed pension.
It's unfair. Politicians here retire at 50, 55 years old. Now they want us to retire much older. Most Brazilians aren't healthy enough to wait that long for a retirement. By the time we get there, we'll be dead or spending all our money on medicines.
While Brazil tries to balance its budget, its workers contemplate their retirement receding into the distance, labouring into an old age which they'd hoped would bring better rewards. Schweimler, Jazeera, Sao Paulo.